Mike. My mic sounds nice. Check one, check two. What's cracking, you two? Hey, how you guys doing? I know I'm a little late than normal. Uh, Getting some things set up backstage. We've got a great one for you. You already know it's going to be a crazy one. And let me jump into the chat, man. You guys have been waiting with bated breath. Monica Lynn, my moderator extraordinaire. Thank you for coming in. First one on the scene, Alien World Aquatics. Haven't seen you in a minute, my friend. Thank you for coming in, AWA. Robert, thank you for checking in. Fish Tropic Meowth is in the spot. Going down, Skulls Aquatics. Thank you for coming through. Michael T. Thank you for coming through. The Kraken. Casual Aquatics was cracking. Thank you for coming through. All right, and he's here for the whole thing. Muppet, thank you for PB. What's cracking? Hey, I meant to hit you back, PB. I wanted you to let me know what you got popping when I sent you that YouTube link. Jay Watts is in the spot. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, it's Memorial Day, man. Happy Memorial Day. Shout out to all of the vets, all of the reserves, everybody that's out there right now, man, that's pulling for us and rocking around the country. Thank you so much on this Memorial Day. And I hope everybody was able to, if you were home from work, you guys, stayed in, maybe got out on the grill. In St. Louis, it was a beautiful day out here. It's about 70, a little cloudy, but nice. Still the sun was shining, but not too hot for you to be out there in the grill, for you to be out there on the lawn. I actually had to mow the lawn today. I hate mowing the lawn. It's like one of my, oh God, I hate it. Anyway, other than that, it was a great day. And now it's going to be a great evening. It's 9 p.m. Well, it's 9:09 p.m. So that, you know what I mean? It's that time, baby. It's right now. It's Fishy Biz Aquatics live stream, man, with Jack and Dan. You guys saw the trailer. You saw the teaser. You already know what it is. So making sure that your day was great. Larry D, actually, they were coming from Larry D's live stream, and Larry D is here. Thank you for letting them go, Larry D, so they could jump on. But listen, without any further ado, we're going to get right into it. Xanadudu, thank you for coming in. For those who gave all, God bless America. That's perfect. I'm put that up right now. Xanadudu, thank you so much. Xanadu, you can do. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Jack and Dan, and you'll be pleasantly surprised, or maybe not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It might not be what you expect. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to add them to the stream. Jack and...
What's up? What's up? Jack and Pam.
Jack and Pam,
man.
What's cracking?
What's going on, guys? Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
Right on.
Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, we just came off Larry's stream. We could talk to Larry all day about metal and stuff. So it goes fast. It goes fast.
For sure. How you guys doing?
Good. How was everybody's Memorial Day? Everybody have fun?
Everybody jump in, man. How's your Memorial Day so far? Thank you for coming through.
So it's just like we said on Larry's stream. This was the reason that we kind of scheduled these, is so that Jack could do them. Because normally this is pretty late, but we thought it would work out. But because of the ridiculous storms that have been going on here, his mother's side of the family has a pretty big Memorial Day celebration. They actually pushed it back a couple of days because of the storms. It was like trees down everywhere. It was totally bonkers. Wow. A lot of people lost power. It's just how it's been the last couple of years in Cleveland, to be honest with you. It just seems to be getting worse all the time. So anyway,
but the blessing is we had a sunny day today.
Yeah, it was nice today. So anyway, they pushed those things back. So he ended up being with his cousins, like today instead of Saturday. So
now
anyway,
you have me.
She got Pam instead.
Hey, look, that'll work. I don't have to curb my questions.
Yeah, believe me when I tell you, Jack's seen worse than the likes of you, Fishy Biz. He's pretty.
All right. Put on my glasses.
He's pretty. He's pretty well-rounded.
I would imagine having you around 24. I would imagine.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because Jack's teachers, they're always kind of funny. they always made comments about him, and he always talked like an adult ever since he was like a baby. Because I don't know, being a nurse and stuff, I was one of those grown-ups or adults or parents that I never talked like baby talk to him. I always talked to him like a little person.
Sure.
Because it's just like what I learned as a nurse and stuff. And he just always talked like an adult. And it was funny when he was like a little kid, like 2 or 3 years old, he talked like an adult. And his teachers always thought it was funny. But anyway, that's just how he was. That's just how he was. And he's very mature for his age. That's for sure. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot. And it's just,
How old is Jack?
He's 13 and a half now. We had a big 13th birthday celebration for him on Ohio Fish Rescue. We did their live stream with them guys, kind of as an event for his birthday because of the whole COPA situation. When that whole COPA thing happened, it was kind of wicked. A lot of people kind of freaked out, and it did affect a lot of people kind of in a negative way. We were a little bit kind of messed up about it. We did our research. We looked a lot of things up. We've talked about this on a lot of streams and a lot of videos, and we just kind of decided that we weren't really doing anything that would infringe with that. And, hey, it's just like guys, like metal guys like me and Larry back in the day. I played in a band and all that stuff. That wasn't my first round with the FTC. I'd been through censorship and all that stuff my whole life. And bands like Anthrax and Public Enemy and all these kind of bands growing up dealing with censorship. And I get it. I get what their point was. But we certainly didn't feel that we were doing anything wrong with it. And so we kept doing what we were doing. We didn't really change much of anything. And we talked to some lawyers, and the lawyers told us, you're fine. But it was a little weird because there were some other YouTubers that were a little bit turned off when those things happened. And
you can't please everybody all the time, man. You got to do what's best for you, and then hopefully,
we didn't really worry about it too much. People that stopped responding to us or supporting us because they were afraid of repercussions from the FTC, we didn't pay any attention. Obviously, when people kind of stopped supporting us, we kind of stopped supporting them. That's just kind of how it goes. We had other things to focus on.
Right.
And everything ended up working out very well for us. So it wasn't really much of a concern. And then he turned 13 anyway. And the guys from OFR, we have a really good relationship, and they just kind of felt like that they really wanted everybody to know that he was 13. And so they said, why don't you guys come on, do a big live stream with us for his birthday. And that was a super fun time. And we took Pamela with us, and it was a super fun stream. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I'm going to have to go back and check it out.
It was super fun.
They have a really cool
they have a nice
YouTube
setup.
Room.
Yeah, they have a nice setup over there. They basically
you can have the fish fly in your face.
They have a green screen set up in one of the bedrooms, and they kind of converted it into a studio, and it's nice. And then we did like a video on our channel, like a behind the scenes video.
Okay. All right.
Kind of showing what things were like behind the scenes. Not a super long video, but we go there, every couple of months and do videos and stuff. And of course, for those of you that know, I help out with Tracy and stuff. And so I'm kind of there, always kind of doing that. And so when we go to help out with those kind of things, we do footage and we do updates, and we're always helping out. And sometimes we adopt fish, like some of these parrots behind us got adopted.
What's up, guys?
Those are Pamela's favorites. She loves the parrots.
They give me kisses all day long.
They certainly do. They come right to the glass and give her kisses when she comes home from work.
I think you guys left a comment when I said these blood parrots are playing freeze tag, and you were like, "Hey, our parrots play tag all the time."
Oh, they're funny. That one guy that you see right there, going right over my head there, is the big bully. And unfortunately, recently, a couple of them did die because you'll notice that this got rescaped. But this video doesn't come out for a while. We kind of showed this tank in the last couple streams we did with Larry and you and Daniken just as a teaser. We did tear the aqua cave down because the turtle kind of outgrew it. And so we're going to be building her own home. So we changed this one. We have a big video coming up of how we did it and some of the other things we did on it and some of the changes that we made. But unfortunately, with the change of scape, these guys got a little turned off, and the one big guy in here did
That one?
kill 2 of the other parrots, but they were older, and we don't. It's hard to tell.
I
But
said, what are they doing? They kissing each other? He goes, no, they're fighting.
yeah. Well, usually parrots get along pretty well, but sometimes when the genetics splice with these hybrids, they may have characteristics. We've done videos on this before, and the one guy in here, he really does look more like a Midas, and so he carried some of those traits, might be more aggressive. The other thing is when you have a reptile in the tank, the reptile is instantly the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a turtle she's like the princess of the tank. She's the queen of the tank. So everybody in the tank revolved around her.
Right.
And we did a lot of videos on that, about how they all got along in their interactions, because she grew up with these fish from a baby. So she did not see them as food or anything. She never attacked them. She never ate them, but they all groomed her and pretty much treated her like the queen of the environment, because at any given moment she could tear them to shreds. You know what I mean?
When I used to see, I was like, how do they have that turtle in there with those fish chilling? Because I used to have a red-eared slider, and he would just go for whatever. But I did kind of pick him up from the streets. He was a street turtle.
Yeah.
Ninja turtle.
He was a street ninja turtle.
Yeah.
So Jack raised her. Her name is Iastigi, and we're Cherokee, and we named her Iastigi because it's Cherokee for warrior. And the reason that we gave her that name is because she could not stand any other turtles. All the other turtles that we raised her with, she would beat them up. She would push them away. She would knock them off the raft. We did some videos on that early on. And so she just didn't get along with any of them. But she never had any problem with fish.
Okay.
Even the tiniest of fish, they could crawl. We've done videos with the baby plecos crawling on her face, cleaning off her. She doesn't care. She's fine with it. But you put another turtle in there, she'll tear them apart. So
she's our watch turtle.
She is. So we ended up.
We gotta watch the turtle.
Yeah.
Watch where you're walking.
Yeah. Well, now, so what she does now is we have like a little temporary tank in my office, and she kind of just runs around my office. She has the run of the whole office, but we put her in the tank to feed her and to only fish get street tugged her. Yeah, but she was like an Indian princess, man. She was super awesome. And so anyway, we're going to ultimately build her a new environment without saying too much. That'll be coming up. She just has kind of a temporary home. And I've showed video of her sleeping on my feet during the day when I'm in my office. I have a UV light under my desk, and she'll literally crawl on top of my slippers and sleep all day on my feet because they're warm. And she loves it. She loves hanging around. But now George gets along with her fine, because George
Costanza wants to be part of this talk show tonight.
George
What's up?
George is just a goofy little dude, and he won't mess with her. He's actually afraid of her. If she comes walking toward him, he'll move out of the way. Now, Lacey, the mighty dachshund, however, who is starting to fall asleep on the other side of the camera, she will eat that turtle in a heartbeat.
Oh, wow.
She goes right for her, so I cannot let her in my office at all if she's out. This is just how Lacey is. Lacey's just a tyrant.
That's how it goes.
That's just how she is. She is the boss, and that's just how it is.
Sounds like one big happy Brady Bunchy family.
It's kind of funny. We got
Dr. Doolittle.
We got the big dominant princess wiener, and then we have the little submissive wiener, which is funny. He's very submissive.
Mm-hmm.
Lacey beat him up how many times today? Like 4 or 5 times today?
George is just George.
George just takes it, huh?
My thing is, I want to have a YouTube video with George Costanza Jason Alexander. Wouldn't that be funny?
Well, I think if we post enough videos of him, maybe he'll find it.
George is an adventure wiener. He's been all over. He was in Hollywood, California with me, weren't you?
I love
George. You were a celebrity wiener.
She's killing independent George, Jerry. George.
Yeah. He is. That was the most appropriate name for him because he is George Costanza in every way.
Awesome. I love it.
In every way. But yeah, they're very different. Their personalities, him and Lacey, are very, very different. But they get along for the most part. He just kind of follows her around and does whatever she does. She's definitely the boss. If she barks at a car or a person walking by, he'll follow her and do the same thing. He's learning.
Awesome.
But, he had a very traumatic event. I mean, we've talked pretty openly about how Pamela lost both of her parents over the last year, and he would stay with them. He would stay with them while she was at work all day, every day, and hanging around with two older people all the time was a very different lifestyle than being in a house with Jack and Dan and Lacey the Mighty Dachshund, where there's all this action going on and all this activity. And so he's adjusting well.
Very good.
Adjusting well.
That's pretty cool. I want to get Jack to whatever the time permits, because I've did earlier for some of my future fish keeping segments that I've had, where I'll do the same thing, put them in the hot spot, but ask different questions and just let people know that they're the future of fish keeping, man. And when he gets time, I would love to have him on also as a guest.
Yeah, we'll try to definitely do it again sometime. It just, the weather was not cooperative. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. Like, there were trees down everywhere. Everything had to be canceled. People had lost power. There's still sticks all over our yard. We just got done cleaning up from the last storm. Man. And we had, how many times? We filled that fire pit like 4 times and just were burning branches and trees.
I wore my winter coat on Friday.
Yeah, it was messed up. It was messed up. I picked him up from school, and he was like, Dad, there's like a hurricane out here. Like, he was beside himself. But anyway, so everything got pushed back. I'm glad he had an opportunity to still go to the party. And I'm glad, pardon me, and I'm glad that he, I ate like this.
What?
I ate this huge bowl of.
You did not hear that.
I ate this huge bowl of, what were they? Dried peanuts or something?
I don't know what you ate.
And then I was guzzling this LaCroix in between Larry D and Fishy Biz, so I wouldn't get hungry. So I'm burping. Sorry.
Excuse you.
Pardon me, guys.
It's all good.
Anthrax only did one rap song. Nah, they did other rap songs. That was the song they did with Public Enemy, but they did do some other ones. Let me tell you a really awesome song. If you can even find this, Larry D, there's a song that they did about their crew, about their groupies, and the song is called "Friggin' in the Riggin'." And nobody knows this song, but it's actually a really neat song. And you can hardly find it on YouTube. There's a couple of them, but it's very hard to find. Check this out if you get a chance, Larry. Look up Friggin' in the Riggin' by Anthrax. It's absolutely hilarious. And it's kind of a rap. It's really good. But of course, everybody knows Bring the Noise with Public Enemy. And then, then Public Enemy went on to do on the Judgment Night soundtrack, which I can't remember who I talked to about the Judgment Night soundtrack. Might have been before your time. How old are you, dude?
I'm 40.
You remember that movie Judgment Night?
I remember Judge Dredd.
Nah. They did a movie called Judgment Night. It was like
Judgment Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was one of Terminator movies. This movie was like, it was one of those movies, didn't do very well, had all these people in it from the 80s. Yeah, Emilio Estevez, I think Lou Diamond Phillips, like all these people. And what they did is they took like 10 metal bands and 10 rap bands.
Okay.
And they put like Slayer and Ice-T together and Onyx and Biohazard. I mean, really
I've
awesome.
seen clips of that.
It's good.
Of that.
And that to this day remains one of my most favorite soundtracks of all time. And it is, I mean, it was big bands like Pearl Jam, Cypress Hill, Helmet was on it. Like everybody was on this album. It was amazing. And if you have not checked it out, the original singer of Anthrax, yes, he only did like one album with them. I think it was called Fistful of Metal. But Belladonna took over after that. I actually really liked when George Bush sang for them. I saw them many times, or John Bush. I saw them many times with John Bush. I was a
George Bush sang too.
John Bush, sorry.
Sitting in his chair too.
Yeah, it's always funny when Lunatic Fringe comes on that because he's an old school metal guy too. But
got it in there.
I did actually send one of my CDs to Chewy. I only sent 2 of them out. I don't have that many of them left. We did do one professional CD in a studio. It was called Progress, and it was of my band All Out. And I did send one to Chewy just because I knew he was into it and that. But I don't have many more left. And we were just talking on Larry D's. I might upload this and do it like unlisted. I don't know that I necessarily want to send out a notification because some people might not be into like old school hardcore,
Sure.
especially like a lot of the patients and the employees that Pamela and I work with utilize our channel for the Wellness Wednesday videos and for the aquarium videos and things. But I don't know that they would necessarily appreciate a hardcore metal album. So
yeah, if you're unlisted, then you can shop it out to whoever wants to grab it.
Yeah, I might just unlist it and put something on the community page, and that way, like if Joe Manuse wants to listen to it while he's working out, he can do that. What is
Joe Munoz? Joe Munoz he sucks. He just knows he does.
He just sucks.
Yeah, he knows. He knows he sucks.
Yeah, so I actually did the Chewy's putting on there. I actually did the vocals and the drumming for All Out. All Out was kind of like, do you remember a band called the White Stripes?
Yes.
So we were like a hardcore metal version of the White Stripes.
Okay.
Except instead of the guitarist singing, I did the drums and vocals, and my guitarist played through a double stack. So he had a high and a low sound together at the same time. And we played out for 10 years. It was a very big part of my life. It was very fun. We sold thousands of albums and T-shirts and toured around and opened for nationals, and it was a really fun time. And then when Jack was born, I was like, this isn't really, conducive. So I kind of got out of the band and got back more into aquariums again, like I was previously.
Also, I was just about to ask, when did you get started into fish keeping? Around what time was that?
So I had my first tank when I was 4 years old. I had an angel fish in a 10-gallon tank in my dining room named Angel Gabriel because I was a good Catholic boy, Polish boy, growing up in Parma.
Okay.
And everybody was altar boys. That's just how it was. And there was a church on every corner. And if you don't believe me, go to Parma sometime and drive through it. There's about 57 churches. And get some pierogies while you're there. Yeah. I got to say it right. Pierogies. Right?
We're both Polish.
So
we can make fun of each other.
Did you ever see the Drew Carey show?
Of course.
So you'll notice when he started that show, before he did the Michael Stanley song, he used to have the show Moon Over Parma. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That show was actually shot. We know Drew Carey. We know a lot of his family stuff. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And he does a lot for Cleveland. Always does a lot for Cleveland. Always talking about Cleveland. And so that show was actually shot in Parma. Well, it was shot in Hollywood, but it was supposed to take place in Parma.
Okay.
His house and stuff. And a lot of people don't know that. And growing up there, it was kind of neat because, it was about us,
Yeah.
But there's a very huge underground hardcore scene in Cleveland. There always has been. A lot of big bands came from Cleveland, obviously, and a lot of radio stations got started there and everything, and it was a huge thing. But, at the end of the day, it was a big part of my life. But I always was into aquariums ever since I was a little kid. I had an angel fish. I named him Gabriel. And
I had a fish I won at the fair. Put it in.
Pamela had a fish she won at the fair, which fish keepers can't stand. But you took care of it for a while.
I took care of that fish. It stayed alive for a while in the round bowl that you see in Dr. Seuss.
Oh.
So you did that at 4, and what year was that?
So I'm going to be 49. So for about 45 years now, I've been into fish. And I started scaping tanks, and I started developing tanks. My parents' basement basically became a fish room. And I had a drum set, and I had aquariums, and my fish never cared about the drums. Ironically, they must have got used to them. They never cared. So we would literally have band practice with like 5, 6 aquariums around us, and they just seemed to not even mind. And
you said your first fish was a angel. Was it angel?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, did you get into any breeding of them, or did you go more angels?
No, I had a lot of live breeders, swordtails and mollies. I liked lyre tail mollies. You name it, everything like that. Yeah, I'm totally still a kid, dude. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. That's why me and Jack get along so well, is because I'm basically a big kid. But you know what's funny? Like, I'm totally like an old school dad too. Like, I'm such an old school dad, he can't stand it.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, there's a time to be a dad and there's a time to have fun. And I told him, he used to tell people when he was a little kid, he'd be like 3 or 4 years old, and people would be like, "Oh, you and your dad have a lot of fun." He goes, "Listen, this is what he would tell people." He'd be 4 years old, and he'd talk to perfect strangers in the store. And he'd say, "Listen, my dad's my best friend, but first he's my dad." And I taught him that when he was a little baby, because I told him, I got a job to do, man, first and foremost, and that's it. I go, I'm not your friend, I'm your dad. But we obviously developed a friendship, and we have a lot in common, and we have a lot of fun together. And that's why we kind of started the channel, is to kind of show people, to say, hey, let's be healthy, and but this is all part of health and wellness, like having a good outlet, having a good creative hobby.
Absolutely.
You know, 90% of the people that I talk to that go through tobacco cessation, I ask them, I say, you have to replace the tobacco. You can't just quit. You have to find something else.
Right.
And I always say to them, did you ever have a fish tank? And I send them videos from our channel. And they're like, you know what? I had a fish tank when I was younger, but then I started smoking and I got away from it. And I go, well, that's because your reward center wants nicotine. You have to give your reward center other things.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Or a dumbbell. Yeah. Well, that's a whole other conversation.
Too. Yeah, you put all of that energy into that. That's what I tell my my students. They have the students that have ADD, ADHD. If mild cases, they can't focus in the classroom. I have fish tanks in my classroom, so
which is totally awesome. Yeah,
they go and focus on the fish tank, and they end up being able to do quite a bit.
That's awesome.
So I had ADHD, I had OCD, all these things. And back then, nobody cared. You were just called hyper, and that was it. And so I started playing drums and listening to metal and playing sports and having fish tanks. And basically, I just got a lot of hobbies to keep me busy, because that's what they did.
I feel like I had the same thing, and I feel like I still do. I'm always up doing something.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, because I'm a Libra.
Well, some of it, yeah, it's definitely a person's personality.
It's just who I am. Yeah.
Nowadays, they just want to throw kids on meds. They don't even want to try anything. Jack's mother, without going too far and starting an argument or whatever else, Jack's mother started down that road, and he didn't want to do it. He was only like 8 years old, 9 years old. He was like, hey, I don't want to take this stuff. And I said, well, then don't. And he's like, the counselors want me to take it. My mom wants me to take it. And I says, just don't. There's plenty of other things you can do to deal with this sort of thing. Yeah. And he has found fish keeping and music and working out to be very helpful. Yeah. He's on the track team. He's on cross country. He does discus. He does shot put. He does long jump. He does high jump.
Yeah. You just find things to do. Yeah. My mom, doctor was like, yeah, well, we can give him a little medicine to. My son's not taking no medicine at 8, 9 years old. It was put the video game down, go outside, go climb a tree, fall out of it. Useful.
So I'm not necessarily saying that there aren't people who need medicinal help. There are, and I've worked in psych for years and nursing for years. But at the end of the day, a lot of times other things can be tried first and should be tried first. I think a lot of parents these days have a tendency to just go right to that. And and some of the things that we try to talk to kids about and people on our channel is to say, hey, give it a try. Try something, might seem old fashioned, but it worked for us. You know, I run the wellness program now for the largest medical company in the state of Ohio. I made it through college. I mean, I did all these things, and I didn't have an IEP, and I didn't take meds, and I didn't do any of these things. So you figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Figure it out.
You definitely do. And
somebody made a comment here I wanted to address. So they were talking about being 4 years old. So here's the weird part, and I'll kind of go over this again because I did talk a little bit about. So Jack's grandfather was a Marine, and our life was very different than most kids these days. People ask us, and I talked a little bit about this on a Daniken stream last night. People asked us a lot, you know, how come you and your brother seem like military guys? Were you ever in the military? And my answer is always the same. Yes, for 18 years I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Because when your father is that way, that's how our life was. And to put it mildly, yes, even at 4 and 5 years old, when I started kindergarten and that, we got up early, we had paper routes, we had jobs, we had chores. Our life was very structured, which helped because honestly, me and my brothers were horrible kids. We were horrible. And if my father wasn't the way that he was, which was a complete hard ass, all of us would have probably ended up in jail or worse. And quite a few times we did end up in jail. But we got over that, we got through that, and we grew up. And he was not, the difference was, and people make a lot of comments on Jack and I's videos. They say, you know, what a great dad, and you do these things with your, and it feels good and it's awesome. And we appreciate that. And a lot of people, if you've never looked at those comments on some of those videos, it's very sad because a lot of people say, a lot of people say things like, you know, I wish I had a dad to do things like this with me. And I always comment back to those people. And I say things like, you know what? Me and Jack's uncles didn't have the greatest dad in the world. We didn't have a great relationship with them. And so we decided to change things when we had kids of our own to say, hey, we're going to do things different. So we're still very strict. We still follow through. We take our job seriously, but you can still be caring and nurturing and loving at the same time.
That's absolutely right. And you know what? Growing up in the 80s, and you're just 9 years older than me, so I hold true to those same values. I have fun with my kids, but when it's the face or it's daddy time. I'm not playing with something is about to happen. You know, we really need to. You need to open your eyes. You need to grow up. You need to know what surroundings and all of these different things. So it's just so much. Yeah.
Well, things were very different. I mean, when these folks came back from Vietnam, nothing was handled appropriately. My dad didn't get any kind of counseling. Nothing. He was 17 and he dropped out of high school, and he was carrying around 100-pound flamethrower walking through the jungles. I mean, it's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just very different back then. And we just ultimately were the brunt of that.
Yeah.
And it made for a pretty horrible relationship, unfortunately. But he did a good job. Job, but it just, none of us really ended up having a relationship. And he died not too long ago. And unfortunately, none of us were close. And, you know, I just don't want things to be that way with Jack. And neither do my brothers, you know, with their kids or anything like that. And so, you know, we try to do the best we can to break that cycle. And if you look at some of those videos of ours that went viral, there's a lot of comments about that. And I try to really comment back to every one of them. And I say, look, guys, you're in charge of your own life. You know, maybe you had a bad mom or a bad dad or bad parents or whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to take charge of your life and you got to step up and figure it out. And if it means watching videos or watching TV shows or whatever, you know, Monica Lynn's talking about, yeah. I mean, how her dad was. I mean, that's how it was back then, and you just don't see that these days. But he just never stops, man.
Oh no, it's gonna keep going.
It's awesome.
I'm gonna have to razzle. So what's your recommended starter fish for like I said, I do a lot for my high school students, freshmen, and stuff like that. What's your recommended starter fish?
I mean, obviously, I think little live breeders are fantastic. You get a little planet tank, you get some mollies, you get some swordtails, you get some guppies. And back to that question about being 4 years old, we actually did. We were raised in a way that first of all, we were incredibly poor. And I mean it. Like when I talk about being poor, we were poor. We bought our own clothes, we bought our own bikes, we bought our own skateboards, we all had jobs. We cut grass in the neighborhood, we shoveled snow. That's just how it was. And so my parents bought me that first 10-gallon tank, and that was it. And then it was go time. Everything else from that point on was my own stuff. And I liked it. I got into it. I started working at pet shops, high school and college, and even when I got out of college. And I've told the story many times about how I started designing fish tanks, and I put ads in the back of Popular Mechanics, and I got a PO box when I was, 20 years old and graduating college. And I sold thousands and thousands of these little booklets through the back of Popular Mechanics magazine. And I made a lot of money. And I paid off my student loans with that, most of that, and that was an awesome thing.
Yeah, the chores were real big. Making your own money was real big. You get out in the neighborhood, you mow lawns in the summer, you shovel snow in the winter, and that's how you did it when you were old enough,
And we had paper routes, man. We all had paper routes.
I had a paper route.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Pamela had a paper route.
Yeah.
My dad was in the military too, so I don't have any siblings. So
yeah, he was an MP. Wasn't he an MP, or he was a medic?
He was a medic.
He was a medic.
So medic, yeah. You guys are some military babies.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
he was. Her pops was a hard ass too, for sure.
Yeah.
He liked me and Jack. Before he died, we got to meet him quite a few times, which was difficult because COVID was going on. But we did go over there. We wore masks, and he was in the other room, and he was on oxygen because he had COPD and stuff. But we got to meet him, and he went plant-based years ago. And
you wore his clothes today.
I wore his clothes today. She actually gave me a lot of his clothes that he had.
My dad loved fish, so he had
a lot of fish shirts and stuff. And he also was plant-based, and he was very happy to meet Jack and I, and he thought it was really cool that we were plant-based because he went plant-based, and he was one of the reasons he kind of wanted Pamela to go plant-based. And then when she met us, she decided to try it. And now it's been what?
Look at all the athletes.
9 or 10 months now.
Yeah, almost 9. Yeah.
And so it was really cool because before he passed away, he was very happy to see Pamela go plant-based and to be in a relationship now with a person who was as well. And that really made him very happy. And I'm glad. I'm really glad for that.
He's happy.
Very good. What's a recent rookie mistake that you may have made in your fish room?
Well, I don't know if you guys watch Tommy Tanks at all. Really awesome guy there. He recently had a big mistake where he kind of he was doing a water change and didn't watch the temperature. And I almost screwed that up recently myself. And that was just me and Jack were doing too many things at once, and we were filling a tank. And I usually just grab the hose because I have a hose come in, and I grabbed the hose, and it was freezing cold. And I'm like, dude, did you put that in the middle? We just kind of put it in the middle. And he goes, oh no, and I go back there right away. And it was almost a catastrophe, unfortunately. But anyway, things like that happen.
Yeah.
The fluke worms were kind of a fluke, to be honest with you, not pardon the pun, but we don't know where they came from. We never had anything like that before. In all the years I've been doing this, I rarely ever had any issues other than ick occasionally, but I keep all the tanks pretty hot. So we haven't had ick for years and years. We just keep them hot. We just keep them hot. And it's not a problem. And because we always usually had turtles, you want the temp high anyway. So we just turned it up and we acclimated the fish to it, and the fish get used to it, and the turtles are happy, and everybody's one big happy family.
Sure.
But I mean, we'll keep them pretty hot. We'll keep them in the mid to high 80s. And a lot of people are like, wow, your fish aren't going to do okay. Well, sure they are. You can't take a fish out of 60-degree water and throw them in 90-degree water. But if you acclimate them, they can really pretty much live anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't have plecos in 50-degree water for too long. I mean, ultimately they're going to die. But, I mean, anyway, fish are incredibly adaptive animals, just like amphibians and most reptiles. They can pretty much live under any circumstances. I mean, it's not as hard to keep fish as most people think it is. We've been doing it for so long that it just got boring to us. And that's one of the reasons I started making all these designs. And I've been doing this, again, since I was a kid. We just never had a YouTube channel about it because I didn't even know what YouTube was.
Right.
And a lot of cousins and nieces and nephews were into YouTube and Instagram and all that. And they're like, hey, you guys should post some of this stuff. And I said, okay. And we started posting stuff.
Have you been on any fish collecting trips?
When Jack was really little, before I decided to go vegan, completely vegan, I used to take him fishing. Part of being vegan is you don't really do that anymore. There's people that are plant-based and there's people that are vegan. And it's hard for some people to understand all the aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
I went plant-based first, and then I went vegan second. At the end of the day, I decided to no longer harm animals in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's a connection that you make. Some people make it, some people don't. It's a connection that I made, and I decided to do that. And so we stopped fishing.
Okay.
Previously to that, we did fish. And we've told some stories about how we used to catch fish. And we basically would keep them. We had a native tank. And one story in particular, when Jack was about 2.5 years old, 2 years old maybe, we went to a local pond, and this talks about responsibility and fish keeping and everything. And he cast his little tiny 2-foot Spider-Man rod out.
Yeah.
And he pulled in a massive goldfish. A goldfish that was literally gigantic. And obviously it was a goldfish that somebody like Pamela got into a fair or something. But instead of being responsible and keeping it, they let it go.
And it became massive?
And it became massive, and it threw off the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff.
It was a monster goldfish, and Jack caught it too.
Yeah.
Very good.
Where are we going with this story?
So he was talking about fish collecting and native, having a native tank. So what we did is we had some native tanks, and we put this goldfish along with some bluegill and other fish and catfish and stuff in tanks. And yes, so we did do that for a period of time.
And you kept it?
And it was really cool. And it was a gorgeous, beautiful goldfish. It
didn't have a hole in its lip?
No, it did not have a hole in its lip anymore. But at the end of the day, we just kind of decided that we would no longer fish. Now, again, people have a hard time kind of understanding some of the aspects of being plant-based or vegan or whatever. And it's just different for everybody. It's whatever you want to do. There's people that need to feed their families by fishing and stuff, and we get that. We don't have to, though.
Right.
We don't have to. And so we decide not to. And again, we're perfectly fine with people wanting to do those kind of things. We get it. It's just that we don't want to. And it's also a decision that Jack made many years ago. He thought as a very small kid, he just decided, it's just not what I want to do. So when those fish inevitably died off, we just decided to let that go. I think it's kind of neat to go to a stream or to collect fish or whatever, to do things like that. We were going to try to do that with Father Fish when we went down this year for Jack's spring break, but ultimately it didn't work out. And again, there were some storms and things that happened. So we just kind of did a live stream with him from the resort, and we did some videos on the fish and the turtles there, because Florida, they have those massive soft shell turtles, and they're so cool. And every time we go, we visit them and we feed them and we do videos on them. And if you didn't see those videos, they're really cool.
Oh no, I checked those out, and you guys were stuck in a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wish I was stuck there. I am headed to Orlando for the Aquashella. So
cool.
Hopefully I get to get some pretty good footage while I'm down there. I've got some fellow Floridian fish tubers saying that they'll meet with me and take me places, Aquafunk being one, PB Aquatics, So
yeah, we tried to hook up with Aquafunk too, but it just didn't work. The days go by fast when you're on vacation.
And Aquafunk sucks.
I eat animals that are plant-based.
If he sucks, he sucks.
Well, he had things going on, and obviously it was the holidays, and everything like that for a lot of folks, and spring break, and people want to spend with their families. But and it's not that close. I mean, Tampa and Orlando are not close.
Yeah, I forget how big Florida is. It's like, it'll take me 4 hours to get to you where I was like, whoa. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We drove when we went to Orlando a year and a half ago for Jack's winter break. When we went and drove to Venice, and it was about an hour and a half. And we went to Father Fish's store and we interviewed him and we did a tour of his shop. And that was a really, really fun time. Jack loved that. Like, he loved that. He had such a good time. And that's when Father Fish actually talked about where he got the name Father Fish. He had not talked about that previously. That was like an exclusive Jack and Dan interview there. And he talked about working with the hearing impaired, which of course we have a connection with because Jack's uncle is hearing impaired. And we talk about those kind of things. But we really connected with him. He's a wonderful guy. His name's Lou, by the way, in case nobody knows. He's a wonderful man, has done a lot of wonderful things in his life, and absolutely looks at fish keeping as a great outlet and coping mechanism, for people, and has helped a lot of people. She just can't get over this chat with these guys. She's reading this.
Fish chopper just ordered chicken. Wings and ribs.
We get a whole nother conversation here.
Yeah. You know what?
I love the way that you guys document your memories and your moments, the way that you guys are doing that and the people that you guys are meeting. I think you got
fun.
The aquarium co-op thing, the Father Fish thing. I love the picture that you have with Wade. Is that Wade or Brett? Wade from Tanked.
Well, no, Wade. So we met.
No, that's Brett. It was Brett.
Brett. So the way all that happened is when we started this channel, Foo the Flower Horn commented on our first video. And we've talked a little bit about that because we didn't know what we were doing. Again, people just suggested that we do this. And so we posted a video. And a couple weeks after we posted it, Foo the Flower Horn made a comment. And we literally had like 10 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew who he was. And Jack was like, "Oh, Dad, that's a big deal." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "He's like the biggest fish tuber on the planet." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, really." So, and I was kind of like, how does someone like that find a video from someone like us? And he goes, "I don't know," but he did. So we commented back, and listen, talk about a nice guy. That guy's a nice guy.
Sure.
And so what happened is we basically that kind of helped to motivate us a little bit, and we decided to send our videos off to Animal Planet, and they answered. Like about a month after we emailed them all, they actually answered us. And Wade answered first, and they sent us a bunch of lights and asked us to do some videos because they were doing a startup project, and we did. And they were by a company called Versaloom, and it was fun. and it was a really good time. And then I had to go out to Vegas for a big wellness convention, and I reached out to them again. And that was after they had like this big falling out, which I didn't really know anything about. You know, they were on TMZ and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And it got kind of ugly. And I didn't know anything about it because I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
So I got there, and anyway, I reached out to them, and the one lady said, well, he doesn't really come here anymore. He kind of retired. And I said, okay. And she gave me his number, his new number. And I literally left him a voicemail, and he didn't call me back. And then I texted him, and he texted me back, because, you know, nobody leaves voicemails anymore these days.
Right.
And he texted me back, and he said, how long you here? And I said, well, we're only here for like 2 more days. And he said, here's my address. Get an Uber and be here at 11 o'clock tomorrow. And I was like, cool.
That's crazy.
And we just showed up at his front door in this incredibly amazing gated community in Red Rock, which is ironic because his neighbor is actually Jay Cutler, and Jack and I just met Jay Cutler at.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when we were talking, so we were talking to Jay Cutler at Pamela's.
It was a busy day.
Competition, because he was the guest speaker.
That's crazy.
So we're sitting there talking to Jay Cutler and showing him our thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know Brett. I'm like his neighbor over there." And we're like, "Really? That's awesome." And so he talked to me and Jack for like 45 minutes. We talked to him for a long time. Nice, we did some pictures with them, and we posted those on our channel. Really nice guy. And then I posted, he talked at the competition and did a guest speaking thing. What an inspirational guy. What a cool guy.
That's cool.
But anyway, so yeah, he just invited us over. We did a tour of his house. He did a promo for us. I didn't even ask him to do that. He just said, hey, put the camera on me for a minute. And he did like a promo. And I said, hey, thanks. That's really awesome. And so we've used that, you know, in front of a few videos and stuff like that.
So the moral of the story is never be afraid to ask or
never be afraid. You never know.
Because people are just like us. They didn't, you know, just become a movie star overnight. You know,
it's a fact. It's a fact.
That's how I've met so many people. I'm like,
when I was young and in the clubs, I would always go to the pretty girls. Least they can say is no. Who's going to say no to this? Well, I tell you guys what, this has been a great time so far. But now I've got to put you in that. It's what everybody has.
Aquafunk's got a good question. With all the different types of content you put out, what category we would consider a channel to be? So we've talked about this before. We consider our channel to be a wellness channel. The fact that the aquascaping or aquarium part of our channel is the biggest part is awesome, because it's something we love. But we do feel that having a hobby like fish keeping or aquascaping or aquariums is a huge part of wellness. So we do feel it's all connected. So whether it's doing stuff about conservation, which of course helps the planet, which of course helps us because we live on the planet. So without a healthy planet, we can't have healthy humans. And without a healthy hobby, we can't have healthy humans. So overall, we feel that it's all connected. We think it's all really about wellness. And the reason that we call the channel Jack and Dan is because it's really about us and about the things we do. A lot of people told us, well, that's not going to work. You can't call it your name. You got to have a topic. You can't make videos about different things. You can't just have your initials. You have to have a picture. Everything that everyone told us wouldn't work ended up working. And that was one of the things that Kenny E talked about when we were on Daniken, and he said that's just proof that you can't follow some sort of, you know, guideline or whatever. Just do what you want to do and have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah. After that, it's not working. It's exactly what you wanted to do.
And it's not. We have a ton of fun. Like
Absolutely.
when we're sitting here getting ready to shoot a video about something, we all have a blast. We just have fun with it, you know?
It's awesome. Well, you're going to have a blast with this, because we're now in the hot spot. Funk messed me up the last time. Please hold your questions, because I've got myself.
But that was a good question, Funk. Thanks.
That was good. And yeah, that that's a great way to look at it too, Dan. Jack and Dan, you know, and your exploits and your expeditions and your adventures, freaking awesome, man. Freaking awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So for the first part of Hotspot, we're going to talk about your faves. So, I'm just going to throw out what is your fave, and you just tell me your fave. You can go Dan, your fave, and then Pam, or Pam, then Dan.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
There we go. All right. Always a gentleman. I knew you would say that. Favorite dessert?
Vegan carrot cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Same. I'll say the
cake.
same.
Very nice. Carrot cake.
I introduced Pamela to a vegan baker who makes the best carrot cake ever, and she just wants it all the time.
Vegan cookies too.
Yeah, her cookies are good too, but her carrot cake's redonkulous.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Favorite breakfast food?
Me again?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gotta be, I love my oatmeal from Trader Joe's, and I add unsweetened soy milk to it, and I love Garden of Life. It's a pea-based protein powder. It's made with peas, so you get chocolate, vanilla, and mix it all together. Scrumdiddlyicious.
All in the oatmeal?
Use my
That's
muscles.
right. There you go. There's that oatmeal right there.
23-inch pythons. What about you? What about you, Dan?
I would say the same. We've done quite a few videos on oatmeal, and that's one of the reasons it's just one of the most perfect foods. But yeah, we make it up. I mean, we throw in cocoa powder, cinnamon, walnuts, flaxseed, vanilla soy milk.
Okay.
It is not, unfortunately, Aquafunk. A lot of
the
them
frosting and all of that stuff is not vegan.
Butter and eggs and milk, but it's amazing how good it can be. When we take this vegan carrot cake to our families for holidays,
it has cane sugar.
But it still has sugar, yeah. But at the end of the day, the people who are not vegan, they still fight over this carrot cake. That's how good it is.
It's got to be pretty good.
It's amazing.
Do you guys do cereal? If so, what's your favorite?
Not really, but there's different kinds. I mean, I'm still old school grape nuts guy. Like, I'll take ground flaxseed and cinnamon and add it to like grape nuts, because grape nuts pretty low in sugar compared to most.
I used to love Lucky Charms, but over time, the sugar, actually, it's a true story. If you have too much, it affects your joints. So as an athlete and a weightlifter, if I have even a vegan cookie, like with an hour, I can feel it already. It's like into my fingers and that. So I'm like, maybe I'm gonna have a little bit of that instead of a big one. So that kind of got my taste buds to say, you know what, I don't need that anymore because I don't like the way I feel. But I do love the way I feel when I eat my oatmeal, and tastes just as good.
I mean, vegan chocolate's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Like, if you like chocolate, try some vegan chocolate, because you'll never have regular chocolate ever again. Guaranteed. Wow. Guaranteed. Okay. We're going to be doing some videos on that.
We're going to be.
You are giving a lot of people some things to try out who have never tried it. That might be interesting to just even test out, because I'm
going to be launching my YouTube channel. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get it going. Well, I have one, but it's going to be I am a superhero. My job is I fight crime for a living. I kill fat, and fat is our #1 killer now in our United States compared to heart attacks and strokes. So I like to make it fun. So I'm a superhero by day, and my alias is Pamela Houston by night. Fitness, fashion, adventure, vegan diva.
She's a very fun wellness director. All the people that she trains and works with, she calls them superheroes in training.
That's awesome.
And she has a superhero office.
If you're ever out there, check us out. We're in Medina, Ohio. Advanced Spine Joint Wellness in Medina.
Awesome place.
That's a fun way to get that very important message out.
But it really is fun and then I'm on Facebook, just my name, Pamela Houston. You can check up all my videos, or Instagram, Strong Body and Faith. But we haven't really figured out the YouTube thing. We're trying to figure it out, but my name is Inspire. That's the goal for it. You know, you can kind of check it out here.
Sure.
I don't know. Can they click that? How did they get
Yeah.
that? You can get onto it now, and I don't know how we're going to transfer
I think it's like
it over.
Inspire space
Underscore explanation point or
something like that. But we're
Might see if
changing
we
it.
can get a mod to check it out and see if we can put it in the chat.
Yeah, we're changing it though and stuff. But anyway,
But
that's a start.
but that's the name. We
What's
just
up,
have to figure it
Danikin?
out.
Danikin's here. Rounded Rob's here.
But we love to like that's like before I met Dan again our third time around. I did so much of my social media, and I love to cook, and so I'd love to interview restaurants and that. And even before I was vegan, just being a bodybuilder, just showing people eat this instead of that, you know, is better for you. So I love that kind of stuff. So we're going to include that in my YouTube channel along with interviewing Jack and Dan, right?
Yeah.
Come over
That's
to the
cool.
other side.
That's
Yeah,
we
so
have,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be fun. Yeah.
We have, we were just talking about this on the other streams. We have new affiliates. And so we have a huge affiliate now that we hooked up with called Hungry Planet.
And it is awesome.
Yeah. And this is a huge up and coming plant-based company that obviously makes a lot of plant-based meats because they're trying to help save the planet for one thing. And secondly, to start to help people kind of cross over. And so
tastes just like chicken, pork. Beef,
yeah,
tastes
they're
just
different.
Like it.
They're different than companies like Beyond Beef and Impossible because they don't have any saturated fat either.
And it's lower.
So yeah, so not only are they amazing to help people that are trying to cross over and be healthier, but feel that they'll miss meat. You know, the astounding effect of animal agricultural and what it has on greenhouse gas emissions is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And unless we can find about 7 more planet Earths to grow all these animals, we have to start eating more plant-based. It's that simple.
And you feel so much better.
Well, of course you feel better.
And when you really see what's going on with what you're eating, that's what we both do. We teach.
It's what we do every day.
Our superheroes in training, as I say, do you know what is in your food label? Do you know what you're putting in your cereal bowl or in your plate every day? Do you know what is going in? Do you know what all this? Remember, like the Breyers commercial, little kid is like, you know, what's in your ice cream? And the kid's like, red number 5 dye and you know, blah blah blah. And he's like, so that's what we love to do, is help people be a better version of them. And
that's super cool.
Well, here's how I start every one of my presentations. Fishy Biz. I go up in front of people and I give presentations in front of doctors, nurses, dietitians, nutritionists, you name it, all people in the medical field. And I go up in front of hundreds of people and I say, hey, guess what? The reason you have a wellness program is because in this country, we spend 13 years in school and we get half of a semester of health class taught by a gym teacher. Okay. I'm not knocking gym teachers. I think they're wonderful people. But we need more education when it comes to prevention. Mm-hmm. People in this country are not dying from anything else more than metabolic disease.
And all the pills they take. When they come see me, they're like, do you want to see all the pills? And I'm like, what's going? You're eating more pills than you are real food.
It's true.
So at the end of the day, we love what we do. We help our fellow healthcare workers learn more about this kind of thing and other people. And we just try to teach them stuff.
And we like to have fun.
And we like to have fun with it. And at the end of the day, you know, these companies have now reached out to us and they're giving us very huge discounts.
Angelic Bake Bread.
Angelic Bakehouse, Hungry Planet. And so we're going to have a lot of videos coming out about these on our Wellness Wednesdays. And they're going to have some pretty big discounts, 15% off, 18% off, 20% off.
So once you go into any of the videos that we do, you'll see a link and you can click it, put in their code, and get your discount.
It's pretty awesome. So if you want to try these kind of things, you can order them, get them shipped to your house for free, and check them out. You don't even have to leave your house. And you know what? And a lot of these companies too, like if you don't like them, they'll give you your money back.
Okay.
So it's worth it. You got nothing to lose. And you know what? A lot of people that we've worked with over the last 30 years of doing this, they can't believe how good some of these things taste and also how much better they feel. So again, it's just all part of it.
My Facebook Aquafunk is just my name, Pamela Houston. Whitney's my soul sister, Houston. You cannot miss me. I am on the cover in a superhero outfit with my super wiener who's sleeping right now, George Costanza. So I have 5,000 people on there, but just friend request me and we'll make room for you, Aquafunk, or anybody else that wants to get on until we get my YouTube channel started.
Yeah, it's coming. So it's cool.
What about your favorite fast food joint? Maybe before vegan. Probably do too much of it now.
Me?
Yeah, what was your favorite fast food place ever?
Probably still is Taco Bell. I like
Taco Bell.
Okay.
I would say the same, just because I worked nights and they were the only one open.
Yeah.
Plus they had healthy options.
And I will tell you this. One of my friends used to work for like one of the largest, I'm going to say meat or just companies that dealt with the best kinds of meat and chicken. And Taco Bell is ranked the #1 fast food restaurant for the healthiest. So
well,
if you're going to eat it,
Jack and I have done.
Bell.
Jack and I did like 4 videos on Taco Bell because now they have black beans as an option. So if you're vegan or vegetarian and you go to Taco Bell, you can just say, "Give me black beans instead of chicken," or whatever.
Don't eat at McDonald's.
Yeah,
sorry.
Just don't.
Water. You can go through drive-through. I got when my dad passed away, because that's all he would go through and eat Burger King. We have like tons of these gift cards that I got him he never used for McDonald's. And Jack goes, "Well, Pam, you could always go through drive-through and order water."
And we just use the water up. Yeah, I know Joe is going to say something about Taco Bell. Hey, man, up here in Cleveland, there's a couple good Mexican restaurants, and we've done videos at some. But I tell you, and I'll say it again, I told you when we were in San Antonio, we went to a place called Hacienda Vallarta. And man, I told you, we went back like 3 times while we were there. Jack's like, I mentioned to him that we might go back to San Antonio for next year for spring break. The first thing he said was, "We going back to that Hacienda Vallarta?" And I said, "Absolutely, dude."
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean.
And we love to eat, don't we?
Yeah, we like to smash. There's no question about it.
Now, out of all of that, what's your favorite food to cook?
What do we like making the most around here?
I like the quinoa.
What is Pam? What's your favorite to cook?
I actually
Dan, what's your favorite to cook?
Fast is Dan got me on this because he is an exquisite cook. But we have to do fast stuff. So Costco, most people have Costco, make an amazing quinoa already made. And it's usually by the meat and chicken section. I don't know why, but anyway, you pick up a tub of that for $10, and then you can add your own stuff. So we take it back and we add like the Asian apple, pear apples, and walnuts, and what else do we put in there? Little dried cranberries and garbanzo beans. It's yummy.
It's good.
Yeah, I do a lot of cold stuff because it's just easier. So I do like these big cold, like one of our things is we do a lot of bowls and we put a lot of stuff in them. I mean, you could tell from our oatmeal, like my oatmeal's got like 20 things in it.
Wait, I'm laughing because I'll have to send you guys this picture when I went for the first time when it just opened up to the buffet down in Cleveland in the casino.
Yeah.
And Dan went through. I'm laughing because like you not believe how much this man eats. And I went down the line myself with my plate, and I came back, and Dan had videotaped him. He had 3 big plates, and I go, "Is there somebody else sitting at our table?" He's like, "No, I got to teach you how to go and eat a buffet style." I'm like, "How are you going to eat all that?"
Yeah,
but he did.
A lot of people don't realize that. When you're vegan and when you're my size, I mean, I'm 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. I work out.
But we bust butt. I mean, we literally work out.
Yeah.
So
I need a lot of calories, and a lot of times plant foods are not as high in calories. I mean, obviously you can have certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got to eat a lot more actual food. And that's the one part that people just don't realize. I mean, obviously you can eat seeds and nuts and beans and things that are concentrated. But if I go to a buffet and all they have is like a salad bar, then I'm making 3 gigantic salads, because that's what I need to eat, I'm not going to turn down a free buffet.
What do you say? Is that rhinoceros? What is it?
People say it a lot of times. They say, how do you get enough protein? And I say, just ask a rhinoceros or a silverback gorilla or an elephant or a giraffe. I mean, all of these animals are the largest on the planet, and they just eat leaves all day. So obviously people need to stop worrying about protein and just eat healthy food. I mean, you're not going to.
I will say I'm going to be 52 years young in
You know what? I
July,
should feed this tank.
Oh, yeah. I've never been stronger in my life in this 9 months since I've totally
pretty cool.
She learned a lot about this and stuff. I'm going to actually feed this tank because I forgot we were going to feed him.
Get off soon, so
you know what, Monica? We actually do not have a Facebook. I do not have anything at all on social media other than YouTube. That is the only thing I have or ever have had, and probably ever will.
But you all can find me at Pamela Houston.
She's got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to feed these guys.
Facebook, Instagram is Strong Body and Faith. It says I Kill Fat. And I'm on LinkedIn, just my name, and Twitter.
All right. Very good.
He's going to feed these fishies.
Sounds good.
We give them
I was just about to ask what you guys feed.
I would give them zucchini.
Or zucchini, zucchini.
Oh, even you got the fish on the too. Huh?
I'm gonna get out of the way. He's gonna see. You can see this. What? Be able to see. Can you see?
Oh yeah, we definitely can.
All the ropes will come out too.
While you guys are doing that, what's your favorite wrestler?
Favorite wrestler, Dan.
Favorite wrestler?
Hulk Hogan, of course.
Yeah, gotta be the Hulkster, dude.
Right. The Rock.
Nah.
He's like Hulk. The Hulk. He's still the Hulk, no matter what.
What about your favorite holiday?
I don't. I like them all. I'm.
What was this question?
What was my favorite holiday? Right. What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday, of course, is Thanksgiving because that's my birthday.
Oh.
That's a twofer, man. I love it. I never had a bad Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite car?
Well, he's driving it. Mine is a Jeep, and I'm going to have Jeep. If you're out there, you want me to be your new spokesperson.
She wants to get one of the new electric
I want to be
Jeeps.
the spokesperson for the new electric Jeep, and I will sport that thing around. It's going to be yellow with yellow smiley faces that says I Kill Fat on my license plate. We'll transfer the license.
Very cool. And Dan's driving his?
I mean, yeah, I got a Volta a couple years back, and we've done quite a few videos on it, and it's just always something that I thought was ahead of its time and an amazing vehicle. I mean, they were the first to do it. They did an amazing job.
How much you spend on gas a month?
I have a 7-gallon gas tank, and I fill it up about every 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
I mean, I pretty much just use the battery. And at this point in time, Chevy is, I mean, we did a whole thing on Chevy when we were at Epcot. They have a whole thing at Epcot Center.
Yeah.
I mean, they're changing it. They're revolutionizing the electric car industry, and people are gonna be blown away by what Chevy's doing in the next couple of years. That's all I can say. And chances are very likely that I'm gonna stick with Chevy forever. But we'll see what happens. I do like that Jaguar E-Pace. I have checked it out several times. I have test driven it. Chevy, Jaguar and Land Rover have stated that within the next few years, everything will be electric for them completely.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, I love that I-Pace.
If you like cars and you're ever in Miami, last year I got to go to one of the largest dealerships of the most multi-million-dollar cars. They have Bugattis and all kinds of stuff there. So pretty cool place to check out if you're driving down into Florida and in Miami. So
yeah,
but, I don't need a $4.5 million car. So.
Well, one of the coolest things about what Chevy's doing is they're not changing the price. So if you buy the brand new like 2022 Bolt, it actually costs the same that I pay for my car, even though it's 5 years newer. And that's one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to bring the prices down so that people will actually, well, the other thing is they're selling so many of them
Wonder
with
what
the demand going
Jeep's
up.
gonna cost.
Well, I don't think it's going to be cheap.
Well, I'm gonna get mine free because they're gonna want me to.
They're going to give Pamela one for free, though.
Yes.
That sounds good.
I'm cute. They'd want me.
What's you guys' favorite celebrity crush?
Oh, wow.
Celebrity crush. He's like,
Browse.
I don't know. You know what? For me, when I lived in Hollywood, California, one of my best friends does hair and makeup for the movie stars. So like, I don't really. They're just people. They're just like you and me. So I never really.
Right answer.
Like, yeah, this is the guy right here.
All right, he's the celebrity, huh?
You know what? I get a lot of throughout the year. You know what's funny? We get a lot of YouTube comments. Depending on how I have my hair, I get a lot of Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, when your hair bald.
I get a lot of who's the other guy? Some other guy. Some people say Bradley Cooper. Some people say
I can see Bradley.
Some people say Matthew McConaughey.
I'd say Woody Harrelson.
A lot of people say Woody Harrelson, especially if I shave my head.
You got his kind of nose.
Yeah. Well, that's from 30 years of mosh pits. It used to be normal.
Or does he look like you? Is the question.
Yeah. But you know what? I also get a lot of people comment on our videos saying that I sound like Alan Alda. And I never had anybody say that to me in real life ever. Mm-hmm. He's, the guy from MASH.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I don't get it because I love Alan Alda. I love him as an actor, and I loved him when he was on Ray Donovan. I don't watch a lot of series, but I did watch Ray Donovan because I loved it, and I loved all the actors in it.
Ray Donovan was kicking a lot of butt in that. It was a good show.
I love that show, and I love how Alan Alda.
Actors.
I love how Alan Alda played his therapist, and I do love his voice. So I took it as a huge compliment that someone would say that. But a lot of people said that. Like a lot of people said that I sound like Alan Alda, and I just never heard that in real life before. So that was kind of cool. I thought that was neat.
I think for me, my hair was really darker. People used to say I looked like Brooke Shields when I was younger. So.
Yeah, Brooke Shields.
But
that's a good one.
That's all right. They look like us. We are our own.
They look like us, man. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. One day somebody's gonna be interviewing and say, "Hey, what YouTuber do you look like?"
I don't know that I ever really had a crush on anybody. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to get the Sports Illustrated, swimsuit issues, and I think I had a crush on Elle Macpherson, the Australian lady. Everybody liked her. I don't remember anything other than that. I think she was hanging on my locker for a year or two there.
It's like, what?
What's you guys?
Wait, where's your answer? For mine was really good to you.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta say her.
Of course.
Favorite celebrity
Pamela Houston. Right. You were like a stunt woman or something for a while, weren't you? So you're kind of like a Hollywood actress. So
I'm the next superhero.
Yeah, she's going to be the next Marvel superhero.
I am Wonder Woman. They need a new superhero. Dan will post my office. I have an amazing office, and it is all.
Well, you could be Inspire. Who knows?
I am. You have to speak words of what you want. So I am Marvel. Are you watching this? We're going to combine Marvel. See, this is what happened. We're going to.
Oh no, Jack's not going to like this.
Marvel and DC because we are in a situation with our world that our world needs a lot of hope. So that's why I want to bring all the superhero powers together. So my name is Inspire. So I'm going to inspire all of them to come together.
Very nice.
And faith is my shield because that's what I give as far as my spirituality, and love is my armor that I give back to everyone else.
She says in front of Jack,
he's like,
she says, I'm going to be the next Marvel DC hero. And he keeps telling her, he goes,
Stop
You
it.
cannot say that. Like, you cannot combine those. That's not how it works.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, we are at an hour and 25 minutes. It flew by.
Wow, past my bedtime.
Right.
Are you
right.
getting up at 3:30 and working out with us?
Absolutely not. No. No.
Crusher.
Yes.
Who's the wrestler? Who's the wrestler that did the total package? Who remembers that?
I didn't watch it.
Who was Total Package?
Was that the Ultimate Warrior?
Was that you?
They definitely need a better looking Wonder Woman. I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm inspired.
Yeah, better than
But
Wonder
I don't
Woman.
know that answer to your question.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys, I really appreciate you for jumping in with me and letting us know a little bit about you and a little bit more about you. So for those that didn't know and those that'll replay this and listen, we have Inspire, right? And Dan of Jack and Dan, man, you guys take it easy. Have a great evening. We appreciate you.
It was fun, man.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
thanks for
Thank you so
having me.
much. Absolutely. All right. Have a good one. See you guys.
Bye.
Monica, Rounded, Rob, Funk, Joe Munoz, you suck. Later, everybody.